Dreams are super powerful. They generally aren't as they seem, but sometimes they are. When I was trying to quit smoking cigarettes, which I did for 20 plus years, it was after I made the decision to turn my attention to God. I wanted to quit so desperately, but I seemed completely powerless. I would quit and start and quit and start. I was never free of it. I would spend hours crying and begging and pleading with God to please deliver me from this habit. But it seemed as though He wasn't listening or He wouldn't help. One night while I was sleeping, I had a dream that I was in a glass coffin filled with smoke and six pallbearers were carrying it. That dream changed everything for me. I woke up in the morning and I never smoked again. And that was 30 years ago. Whenever I would smell it or be tempted by it, the image of that coffin would pop into my head, and it still does today. There was no doubt this dream was from God. God has oftentimes used dreams in my life to give me direction, to show me the area in which we're going to work, and to help me know how to proceed in many, many situations. Today, as I was reading Genesis 37, and it's about the dreams that God gave Joseph about how he was going to end up being big kahuna. One of the dreams is in verse 7. He says, "We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field, and suddenly my sheaf rose and stood up right, while your sheaves were gathered around mine and bowing down to it." The second dream is in verse 9. The sun and the moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me. These dreams had nothing to do with sheaves or stars. They were messages from God preparing Joseph for what was to come. Now, neither he or his brothers knew that he would become second in charge to Pharaoh one day. He also had no clue that he would have to spend much time in prison before that occurred. It was just a little glimmer that God blessed him with, a little piece that he could tuck away back in his mind so that he would remember when times were difficult, sort of like when I would be tempted to smoke. And the picture of the smoke with a filled coffin appears in my mind, as I'm sure the sheaves and the stars appeared for Joseph. When God speaks, there is no doubt about it. He will bring it to pass. And don't you know that when the time came, those brothers and Jacob remembered that day? They remembered the day Joseph shared the dreams, and they became indignant. But let's forget about all the players of the story for the moment and focus on God. God is faithful. He is always on the job, and He has a plan. It doesn't generally ever work out the way we think it will, and He uses His faithful ones to accomplish His purpose.